So hey, hi everyone. Today we have a very special person, very special guest. He's a fellow Googler, and he had recently cracked apprenticeship program in Google. So we are here to hear him out around his experience and how he was able to crack this thing. Because I think for most of us, even I was not much aware of this apprenticeship program, and Sudanthiran made me aware of this, and I really wanted him to speak on this, how he prepared and what was his experience and why did he choose apprenticeship over the full-time job. So over to you, Sudanthiran. I would like you to give a brief introduction to our viewers.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Anwar. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah, I think said like a lot of people don't aware of about this apprenticeship program, and I'm very happy to speak about it. So, yeah, before starting, it could be better like if I give an introduction about me.
Sure.
I'm basically a PhD graduate. I did my PhD in biotechnology in 2023, which is completely irrelevant to what I'm doing it today.
Yeah, we'll come back to that as well.
After this BSc, I wasn't able to do my master's, both financial aspect and other aspects. I joined in sales. I was in sales. I was a business development associate for 11 months, where I was selling data analytics courses.
That is IntelliPath, if I'm...
Yes. In IntelliPath, I was selling data analytics courses. That is where I got to know about data analytics.
Oh, nice.
Even in my graduation, I wasn't sure about I really didn't know anything about tech. I was more into the biotech, the microbiology, biotechnology, these things. But I was selling the data analytics course, which created an interest in me to learn data analytics. Being in a sales role, it was really hard for me to start preparing for that. Then I joined Amazon in 2024. Amazon, I was a non-tech associate. I was a seller support associate. I was supporting the third-party sellers of Amazon. But since Amazon is a structured organization, I got a lot of time to learn and improve my skills, where I started learning SQL and Excel. And while working in Amazon, I watched a random LinkedIn post and some YouTube videos about this apprenticeship. I learned about the apprenticeship and I wanted to get into it. And I'm here now.
That's so cool. So if I can summarize, you are a BSc grad in biotech, joined as a salesperson at IntelliPath selling data analytics course, then joined Amazon as a seller's support, and now at Google for the role. What's can you
Data analytics.
Data analysis.
And data analytics.
Very close to tech roles. Well, this is super amazing and very inspiring journey, and we would like you to take us through step by step. But also, for a lot of our viewers, this might be the very first time they're hearing about this apprenticeship program. So I want you to take us through it. What exactly is this apprenticeship program? How different it is from the regular full-time or even internship? What's the duration and what's the actual path you followed? I mean, what was the key decision and what made you to, leave your full-time job at Amazon and joining this apprenticeship program at Google? Multiple questions in a single sentence, but we can take us through step by step.
Yeah, we can go ahead. First, in the Google Apprenticeship, there's a structured and a paid learning program. So Google will be hiring you as an apprentice for a specific role, and you'll be working on a real world projects. I mean, the real business projects. It's all a real world projects, I would say. The actual business projects you would be working on. And here, it's not like a regular full-time employee, like where you would be starting your work on the day one. Here, you will be taught about the concepts, about the projects which you're going to work on. And it is designed for the people who has potential, but who doesn't have a direct industry experience in the relevant field. The duration depends on the stream which you're choosing. For software development, it is 12 months. For the remaining streams, data analytics, project management, and digital marketing, it's 24 months, which is a decent time to learn the concepts. So through this program, you will be learning on-the-job training, the mentorship, and continuous learning while working with the Googlers. In my case, I'm a data analytics apprentice. I work on projects, collaborate with the different teams. I use analytics tools like SQL. There are various internal tools of Google, like a full-time analyst. So the only difference, I would say, here this program has a structured learning component along with the job which you're going to do.
Okay.
So, and one more question, it's like, one more common thing which I hear a lot in various platforms is like whether it's a full-time opportunity or so apprenticeship, it's a full-time job, but however, it's not a full-time role. It means like you'll be working for 40 hours per week, but it has a contract end period, which is 2 years.
Okay. So it's more of like contract job, but it
Yes.
has a structured learning path as well.
Yes.
Okay.
For someone like me,
Okay.
who's from completely different background.
So you're saying anyone from any background can join any kind of role?
Yes.
Does Google allow this kind of switch? I mean, let's say I'm from data engineering background. I want to explore the software engineering side of it, SWE jobs, which is SD jobs. So they are eligible for it?
Yes, they are eligible, but there is a catch here. So,
Okay.
so if you have an experience of data analyst or something which is related to data analyst for more than 1 year, you should not apply for data analyst apprenticeship.
Okay.
Which means I was in support. I was eligible to apply for all the three. Since, like, say, if you are a data analyst or you are a project manager, you should be having less than 1 year of experience in that particular stream which you apply.
So you're saying, let's say if I have less than a year of experience of SD work, like SWE work, I am eligible for SWE.
See,
But anyone can tweak their resume and make it less than a year, right? Is it just a resume based, or they thoroughly ask you the what's the exact criteria? I want to understand.
the criteria is very simple. So if you apply, either you need to be a fresher or someone with a career gap, or you might be from any different stream.
Oh,
But one catch is like the stream which you're applying to, you shouldn't be having longer experience in that stream. That is the only thing.
and that's the fair advantage as well. I mean, why one being already in SD would apply for an SD apprenticeship? The sole purpose is to explore new field and grow in that particular field. That's good.
Yes.
Okay. So you didn't answer. How did you hear about this internship this apprenticeship program, and what made you apply, and what made you leave Amazon and join this program? Was it Google, or was it the apprenticeship program that you were really interested in?
It's a combination of all these things, I would say.
Okay.
I was working in the tech part where Google was there. So Google, like everyone else, Google is a dream to me. I would say I would just visit the Google office. I was not allowed to enter. I would just stare at the Google office whenever during my time at Amazon. That much kind of obsessed I was with Google at that time. So first, I came across this apprenticeship thing through LinkedIn. I watched a post. Then I got to see a lot of YouTube videos about this apprenticeship. Then I made my own research on Reddit, YouTube, and the Google official page, and I was researching about this program. So what made me to get into this program is I was trying to get into a data analytics role or a business analyst role, but since I don't have a relevant work experience, I was not even getting shortlisted for interviews. But when I was seeing this program doesn't require any player analytics work experience. Instead, Google is looking for the people who has a potential to learn, but who doesn't have a relevant work experience. So I felt like this is the very perfect opportunity for me to switch my career towards analytics.
That's super, man. That's super. I do have. I mean, this question from your answer, I got another question in my head, which is, I mean, we met recently, right? And you said Google received around 3 lakhs of application of apprenticeship in total. Then I know that applying, I mean, eligibility is sort of very clear. It's very sorted. Then what was the key thing that made you at Google? What was in your resume? How did you tweak it? Because all thing it's directing to the resume, this the shortlisting path. I mean, once your resume is shortlisted, you will go through the interview. I know we have received 3 lakhs of application, but the very first filter criteria is the resume shortlisting. Can you take us through what was your research around that? What changes you made in your resume that you had when you were at Amazon, and what differences or what delta removing adding you did so that it got selected?
So actually, many people would be disagreeing with me in this point. Most of the people believe that when it comes to apprenticeship or any job role, any entry level roles, we do require a relevant work experience. So in my case, I wasn't having any relevant experience, but where I had a policy or a principle, I can say, that wherever you work, you need to excel in it. I was in sales and support, but wherever I work, I try to perform well and improve processes. And if you see my resume in my previous experiences, I provided a lot of suggestions to the organization to improve the process which I was working on. And I would say there is a learning in every job. So Wherever, let's say, if my goal is to get into analytics and I'm working on a support role, I try to do certain analysis in my role. For example, I try to find opportunities wherever I can use Excel and SQL, which is actually relevant to the job which I'm applying on. So technically, as a role, it was not relevant, but I found opportunity from my end to do certain analysis. And when working in Amazon, I was already decided that data analytics would be the career which I would be pursuing. So I actively practice SQL and Excel outside the work. And I was also trying to find out, like, is there any way I can apply SQL, or is there any way I can apply Excel, so that in order to learn something from my current experience, even though that experience is different from what I'm going through.
That's a wonderful mindset, to be honest. I mean, I love this thing that you always have to find the opportunity to create to fix the gap that you have, or maybe wherever you want to grow, you have to select the growth path, and it's super. I loved it. The way the mindset. This is the prime thing. You start manifesting day one. You start working on it, and you get what you deserve. And can we talk around the resume thing?
First, I would say, honestly, I was having the worst resume, which I still have a copy of it. I still have a copy of it. I would say this is the worst resume ever. But I think I was very fortunate to meet you before applying to this apprenticeship. That we had a resume roast session. I hope, like, I think you were really really busy. You had multiple sessions on that time. I think you might not remember, but the resume review session which I had, it was really, really useful. To be honest, I was noting down each and every word you had said. You had said. And first thing, what I was understanding from your point of view is to quantifying the achievement.
So I have your resume handy here. So maybe if you want to take us through.
Sure. So very first in a company like Google would be requiring very honest resume. So let's say one common thing what uh, my colleagues, or I mean, not my colleagues, my previous colleagues, was doing this. Even some of my friends were doing a degree and distance degree. But here, what I mentioned is I clearly mentioned that it's a weekend distance learning mode. People might think that what is the point? I can just mention I'm pursuing MBA, but giving him honest opinion about you, giving him honest details about you would actually make the recruiter think that you are an eligible candidate. And I've seen like a lot of people who would just mention it that like they have done MBA or they're doing MBA. The only rate is distance. We need, first thing, it's like I would say we need to be very clear on our educational background and these things. Second thing, like say if someone is seeing my resume for just 5 seconds, less than 5 seconds, they can easily see a lot of things. Data-driven approach, optimizing the workflows, system enhancement is there, process improvement is there. There are various numbers, and even in my sales role, I mentioned that I have performed like about my performance. So, and here cross-functional collaboration is required. I mentioned that. So it means that trying to create as much as relevancy to the job which you are applying for. So, and I've also started using SQL and Excel, even though it is not required to in my primary role. I just try to create relevancy once I've decided that I need to get into it. And yeah, if someone sees it for 5 or 6 seconds, they would be, at least they would be convinced that. And before this, I would say before this resume, I had a resume where I would not be mentioning any numbers. I would be simply mentioning that I've done a process improvement and I have a problem solving skills. I mentioned that I have a problem solving skills, but how I demonstrated wasn't there in my previous resume. And what I've done.
Okay, I mean, this thing is very clear that I can see from your resume is that you have clearly highlighted your key processes. I mean, your key success metrics in your resume, which is a very important thing. I mean, when someone is visually looking at your resume, that is important because our eyes goes through this bold items. When it's an ATS, I would say we can also optimize and put more numerics and more. Let's say if it's an AI role, most of the time we see that AI is in buzz, so people tend to add more AI keywords so that the ATS, your resume is skimmed through the ATS and you have a good score. So that's a good approach that you did. Perfect.
And yeah, again, I want to thanks for the resume row session.
Yeah, I remember I used to have this resume row session when I was at Amazon before joining Google. I do remember those days. Yeah. Cool. So let's move to the next question, and then it's one of my favorite. You don't have a traditional CS degree, and this is a very common question that I receive. That can a non-BTech guy join Google in tech role, or at least somewhere close to non-tech role, close to tech roles, like the one you have. So you have a background in BSc in biotech, and then MBA in business analytics. So how did you position this in your resume? I mean, which was literally a different role that you're applying. When your resume is talking about something else and you're applying to a role, I mean, I know that the role is very flexible and Google allows that. The eligibility is really great. But do you have any learnings from there? I mean, how did you convince yourself that me being a non-beta graduate, non-techie guy, can apply at Google, that too close to tech roles?
Technically, I was only a BSc graduate when I applied to Google. I just started pursuing MBA. That was ongoing. It was not even complete. One thing I appreciated about, one thing I would really love about Google Apprenticeship is it focused more on the skill and potential than the degree, because this program is for someone who's very interested to learn, but who doesn't have a relevant experience or the relevant degree. And what I have done here is, as soon as the applications were out, I mean, the application link was out, what I did was, I immediately started an SQL certification, and within few days, I completed a certification in SQL, because SQL was mentioned in the job description that it is a preferred qualification. I was not I know basics about SQL, but I was not having any certification. Like what I did, since I don't have a relevant degree, I started doing within few days I got few certificates in SQL, and I've added that in this resume. I've also highlighted that I'm pursuing it my analytics degree, which created an impression that I'm actively investing in learning the things. So I try to convince the recruiter that I'm okay with learning, and I've demonstrated that I'm very interested towards learning new things. So based on the certification and based on the new degree. And I would say this apprenticeship program doesn't require any degree. So when you see the job opening or the job description, they clearly mention that any degree is fine.
That is superb. Perfect. So can you comment upon the kind of interview you had? I mean, you already know the full-time jobs interview, right? Was it the apprenticeship program interview? Was it very different from full-time job interview, or either internship interview? Did you find any difference?
I would say 90% it was actually similar to the interviews which we would be having for full-time role.
And
But here, one thing which was different from the full-time role is here they would not ask you very deep technical questions.
okay,
There will be a basic level technical questions and deeper understanding of your maybe your previous experience if you have, or other aspects like the situation based question, behavioral aspects, the Googliness check. These will be there. However, the deeper technical thing would not be there. But I would say we need to prepare it in a way that we are preparing for a full-time opportunity, not like an internship.
that's super. One last question around this. I mean, for someone watching this podcast, they could be from sales background, they could be from support background, any non-tech or tech background, and I mean not from a traditional degree, say BTech. What advice would you give them, or let's say, what advice would you give yourself, like 5 years back from now, or maybe let's say 2 years back from now? What advices would you give them or yourself, maybe while tailoring the resume before applying, or the kind of preparation one should be, the kind of mindset they should have? Any ending line, any motivation that you want to throw up?
I think you already used one word, which is manifestation.
Okay.
Manifest it, and I did in my first ever job. I was like very interested towards anyone who was in early 20s would be like would be like, still anyone, I would say, in late 20s also would like to join Google. Like Google is something like where everyone's dream of joining in. And I still remember, when I was in my first company, people would say, getting to Google is really hard. It's a waste of time applying for it. I would say you should give it a try. I would say you should not think like, even before applying, you should say that Google will not at all. Google is a very big company. And imagine like from a tight, I mean, my college would be a tier 2 or tier 3, that to a PhD degree from the northern parts of, I was brought up in the northern parts of Chennai. And, no one would ever think that someone would be from a biotechnology degree, that would go a PhD, would be getting into Google. Even I haven't thought about it. But one thing I did different from others, I would say, it's like I had a belief that uh, first I need to try. If it is not there, then it's fine for me. And when the interview process took literally 6 months, and I was very, very anxious about it because I was in the point that I was in a kind of existential crisis in my career because my degree is different, my first company is different, and my second role is completely different from the previous one. I was in a kind of existential crisis, but I never gave up in applying to Google. I never gave up. I did a lot of research. Wherever an opportunity comes, it might be from Telegram, it might be from Reddit, it might be from YouTube. Wherever the opportunity comes, I use it as a learning opportunity to learn more about Google. And I never stopped trying to apply for Google. I was continuously applying for various roles and apprenticeship also. And finally, I'm here. I would say don't give up and don't think in a way that Google won't recruit me even without applying for it. Just give a try and anything will be possible, I would say.
That's really insightful, to be honest. Not giving up on something is should be the mantra, right? If you really want something by heart, you should be keep trying. I mean, failing once, twice, thrice, even 10 times is fine. I mean, Thomas Alva Edison, he discovered light bulb after 1,000 failures. So it's fine to just keep trying. I mean, keep a smile and try again. And thank you so much, Sudanthiran, for your insights, for your this. I think this will help lots of people bring awareness about apprenticeship program because the number is already increasing. I would like everyone to try this this program where you'll get the opportunity to learn new domain and excel in it. And getting a Google tag brand is in itself is a big thing. I mean, it's like UPSC of IT. I really love the way you explain, and thank you so much for taking your time. We are planning to have a resume roast session of Sudanthiran, previous and the new one. I mean, previous to joining Google. I mean, even previous to before applying the apprentice program, and the one he had applied. The delta will see what changes he made and what are the changes you should be making, what kind of mindset you should have while preparing this resume, and some key points that will help you land jobs at company like Google, Amazon, or big tech. So we'll be coming up with that soon.
Sure, we'll do it.
Thank you so much.
Is Namaz.